1,200, 1,300. So we might end up just extending out 1 or 2 kilometers, which is a long way, which is a pretty big wall to build if we were to build a wall around this whole thing. I might have to consider my options. But, you know, I'm fairly happy. I'm fairly happy with the amount of colored clay and the amount of sand that we're gonna get. If we just expand the boundary northwards by like 2 kilometers or 3. I don't know how many kilometers we're going up. We're already at 1,400 on the z-axis. Well, let's just see how far it goes. Alright, more mesa. I'm happy. I really am. I'm happy about this now. And you know, it wasn't. I had to change the seed to get it. I wonder how I feel about that. I guess I'm not too concerned that I changed the seed. But it feels a little like cheating. It feels a little like manipulating the game to get what I want, rather than playing with what what the game gives me. This goes a long way north, doesn't it? Well, we might as well just keep walking. We don't really have to claim the whole thing, right? We can just kind of stop and have more mesa outside. I should also, alright, let's see if we can make it to the other side of this lake. And then we'll sleep. What was that sound? Alright, let's see if we can sleep on this island here. I hear a spider. How close is that spider? Wow. That spider sounded really, really close. Alright, let's sleep. I'm not getting any lag, so the audio should not be desynchronized. But I don't even know anymore. So this is still mesa. There's pretty large lakes in the mesa biomes, which is cool, I guess. I mean, this is pretty cool, right? This view here, looking out at the mountains of clay, is pretty cool. I like it. In fact, it almost surrounds this whole lake. Alright, let's climb yet another mountain and see what's on the other side of it. So... okay. There's a river, a kind of river, but there's no water in the river. That happens, you know, like not all rivers have water in them all the time. Like sometimes they dry up. They're like intermittent rivers. Like when it rains, then it's the river. When it doesn't rain, it dries up. And then some rivers kind of like disappear underground if there's not enough water. So if there's more water, I mean, I guess it's the same thing. It doesn't really dry up as such, but the water, like it sits, it's partly in the ground, right? So when there's a lot of water, then it appears above ground. But if it's dry, then it's kind of in the ground. If you dig down, there's water there. So there's still water flowing, technically, except that, you know, in the dry season, it's inside the ground. Does that make sense? That happens sometimes. More mesa. Cool. So let's get... Should we keep walking, or does this not matter anymore? Maybe this doesn't even matter anymore. Because... I mean, I found everything I wanted to find already. So maybe this isn't an issue. but I do kind of want to see how far north this actually goes. I remember it going quite far north. And by quite, I mean like 6 kilometers or more. Well, good news is that if we ever want more clay, we can just keep going north and get more clay. So this is interesting. It appears more eroded than the solid mountains that we were looking at further south. What did they call this? Mesa Bryce. Oh, I see. It is a different biome, or a different sub-biome. Cool. Very cool. Isn't it? It's pretty awesome, right? I think so. Pretty interesting. I don't think I saw this when I explored it in the when I was just exploring the world scene. Okay, so I got a bit of lag there, and I think that means the audio is desynced now. I'm not sure. Let me just do that, and then you guys can tell me in the comments if that was desynchronized, the audio. I mean, if the audio desyncs that easily now, then it might be kind of difficult for me to record and have it not desynchronized all the time, because like if every time the hard drive lags a little bit, it just desynchronizes the audio. That's kind of not good, right? It's not really what we want. So this goes on for a long way. So this is like I guess this is a different biome. I'm just trying to figure out how they calculate this. It's not part of the same mesa as before, it's like a different mesa now. Because what happens is every time we go into a new biome, because it's large biomes, then we can expect to be walking quite a long distance through that biome. You see what I mean? Oh, there's lava there, let's not walk into that. Like, if it's, for example, if you're walking through a plains and you walk into a swamp, then it's pretty likely that the swamp is going to go on for a long time. Because, it's large biomes and you just walked into it, right? So we were at a mesa, and now we're at a mesa Bryce. So if this counts as a separate biome, then it might mean that this goes on for quite a long way before it changes into something else. Also, this water is sitting... This is odd. The Bryce stuff is just put on top of the water? What does that mean? What does that even mean? I'm not sure. It's probably wrong though. It's probably not supposed to be like that, but it is like that. So is that the edge of a biome? There are trees there. So this is Bryce, right? If we walk that way, it'll be Mesa Hills, I think that's what they're called. So if we walk this way, it becomes... Yeah, oh, Mesa Plateau, that's what they call it. So now it's a Mesa Plateau, so this is like a different biome. So now this thing is probably going to go on for a long way. Or... well, it goes on a long way that way. Okay, so I really don't think there's too much point for us to just keep walking. I mean, I'm kind of curious as to how far this goes, but it's not really necessary for us to find out. Although this is amazing, this landscape. Look at this! Look at this! Look at it! Look at... it's amazing! Look at it! How far out are we? We are negative 3,000 almost, so it's like 3 kilometers out, approximately. Can we extend this far? It's gonna be a lot of work to extend a boundary wall this far, because it's not just about the boundary wall. It's the fact that I'm gonna put down torches and can completely light up the interior of that wall. That's gonna take a long time. I guess I can just do it progressively. I can just kind of build a bit of wall and then light it up, and then you know, line up more and then build more wall and then so on. Just kind of work my way north, slowly annexing bits of the landscape as I go. We can do that. It's been a long time since I've expanded. It'll be kind of interesting to do that again. Alright, so it's this again. So this goes on for a long way. Maybe I'll just keep walking and not record, and then when I reach the end I'll just kind of show you how far north we are. So we are, so to see the numbers there, X, Y, and Z, Z is negative 3,142 right now. So we're 3,000 blocks out to the north. I'll just stop recording now, and then when I find the end of the dry biomes, I'll see how far we are. Alright, well here we are, plains. Where are we? We are negative 4,287, so 4 kilometers out. We hit the end of the deserts and mesas, and we get to plains. I don't know if plains count as both wet and dry biomes. Actually, have I said this in the videos yet? No, I don't think I have. So what happens in the new patch is that like all the wet biomes are kind of just clustered together and all the dry biomes clustered together, so you won't find, you know, a desert and then a swamp and then a desert and all that. So you'd find them kind of separated. Actually, the desert kind of bends back around, doesn't it? Okay, never mind. The dry biomes just kind of bends back around and continues north. Yeah, I remember this actually. I do remember this from when I explored this elsewhere in the other, you know, in the original map. How far should I walk? See, there's a lag again. There's a lag. Is it desynced? Like, is that desynced? I don't know. Alright, so I guess we'll keep walking for a little while at least. So about 4.5 kilometers out, we hit some plains, but that's not really interesting because plains are just, you know, plains. The desert kind of, you know, turns to the northeast a little bit, and at least we get cows and sheep now. What did you hear that? There's like an alarm going on. So there's plains. Yeah, I don't know if plains is wet or dry or both. I mean, if I had to guess, I would assume that it's both dry and wet biomes, or like it counts for both. But anyway, so the new terrain generation thing, it separated the wet and the dry stuff. And so once you find a desert, you're very likely to find mesas and savannas, and a lot of it clustered together. Whereas if you find a swamp, then you're likely to find, you know, a swamp and a forest, and then more swamp and then more forests, and then jungles, and they're all clustered together because they're wet biomes. So the wet stuff and the dry stuff clustered. I haven't seen cold biomes yet. Oh, there's a village. I haven't seen. Actually, I don't think I've seen any tundra or snow. I mean, we've seen snow-capped mountains, but we haven't seen tundra and ice. I wonder about that. Maybe they have like a cold set of biomes. I've just never ran into them. I mean, I kind of like that the dry stuff and the wet stuff are more properly separated now, but it just feels like you can go forever without finding the other. Like if you find one, you literally, well, with large biomes, so I guess there's that, but you can literally just kind of walk in the same direction for 10 kilometers and not find the other one, which is a little bit much. Alright, so this is Extreme Hills. So we definitely reached the end of the dry biomes there, because the mountains are something else again. I wonder, I don't know if that fits into, it doesn't fit into the dry biomes, the Extreme Hills, I know that. Anyway, so there we go. Where are we again? We are, yeah, we are about 5 kilometers out. So yeah, I don't really have much else to say. And I still haven't brought my a lead or a saddle or anything. I should kind of capture that horse. Anyway, I don't think there's too much point in me kind of recording me walking back. I will walk back by myself, of course, but I don't know if I should record it. Probably not. So there we go. We found it. We didn't find. We generated some desert to the north of home base, and so the next thing we can think about there is expanding outwards, which mostly involves placing torches on the surface and then building a wall around that. I'll probably just keep it, as I said, I'll keep it a rectangle. So the eastern edge and the western edge of the boundary wall, I'll just take that from the northwest and northeast corners and just kind of extend upwards. So the boundary wall isn't exactly a rectangle, but this new stuff I might just keep it a rectangle, and then maybe I'll like keep two chunks with in between the existing stuff and then the new wall, and then I'll keep a one chunk buffer around the outer edge as well, like I do. And then if they change the terrain algorithm again, and they change the world generation again, then I guess I'll, delete chunks outside the new boundary, as it were. If that makes sense, I hope that makes sense. It should make sense. It's just that I'm describing something that I really should show visually. It's not really trying to describe a map with words, which is not really working out so well. Okay, so I'm gonna walk back, and this is gonna be pretty boring, so I'm not gonna record it. But yeah, desert. So we get plenty of sand, and I think we need to set up like a strip mine in the desert and in the mesa, so we can get a lot of sand and a lot of colored clay. We might end up demolishing a lot of the stuff closer to home base. I have to think about how to do it. Yeah, I will have to think about how to do it. Like where to strip mine, how much to strip mine, what to do with the terrain after I've mined it out, and stuff like that. So I need to decide that. Yeah, okay. I guess I'll stop recording. I'll think about it for a bit, maybe put some torches down, and then I'll see you guys in the next video. I might just do other stuff before I get onto this. It's a pretty big thing to do, and it's not that interesting neither, because it's just a lot of torch building and well, at start it'll just be a dirt wall. So anyway,